Hello students, welcome to English online class. Today we'll do Deep Waters written by William Douglas. In this story we are going to read about Douglas' fear of water and how he overcomes it. The story teaches us the importance of determination and willpower. The narrator had developed an extreme fear of water after an unfortunate incident. But the story is about how he decides to face his fear and works hard until he becomes a good swimmer. It had happened when I was 10 or 11 years old. I had decided to learn to swim. There was a pool at the YMCA in Yakima that offered exactly the opportunity. The writer talks about the time when he was around 10 or 11 years old. He wanted to learn swimming, and there was a swimming pool in Yakima. The pool belonged to YMCA. YMCA is Young Men's Christian Association. This pool was ideal for learning swimming. The Yakima River was treacherous. Treacherous is dangerous. So, the mother had warned the writer not to go into the river. She used to tell him continuously about every case of death due to drowning in the river. She had told him so many times that each incident was always fresh in his mind. But the YMCA pool was safe. The pool was 3 feet deep at one end and 9 feet deep at the opposite end. The increase in depth was gradual. The slope at the bottom of the pool was also gradual. I caught a pair of water wings and went to the pool. Water wings, children, you can see in the picture in the background. And went to the pool, and I hated to walk naked into it and show my skinny legs, but I subdued my pride and did it. So Douglas purchased a new water wing. He did not like to walk in his swimming costume because it showed his thin legs. He compromised with his self-respect, and wearing his swimming costume, he went to the pool. Let us discuss the important question that you can get from this slide. The question is, why did Douglas prefer to go YMCA swimming pool to learn swimming? The answer is, the YMCA pool was safer compared to Yakima River. The river was quite deep and there were several cases of drowning reported about it. As against the uncertain depth of the river, the pool was only 2 or 3 feet deep at the shallow end, though its depth was about 9 feet at the deeper end, yet the drop was gradual, so Douglas could rely on it. In the second slide, we are going to discuss a very important question. Why did William Douglas develop aversion to the water when he was 3 or 4 years old? Aversion means dislike or hatred. So let us start. From the beginning, however, I had an aversion to water when I was in it. Aversion is dislike. This started when I was 3 or 4 years old and father took me to the beach in California. So Douglas had a dislike or hatred towards water whenever he went into water. And this started when he was about 3 years of age. That time his father had taken him to a sea beach in California. He and I stood together in the surf, that is waves. I hung to him. Hung means I tightly held his hand, yet the waves knocked me. So the waves came and it threw him down, swept over me, and I was buried in water. So he was completely submerged in water. My breath was gone. I was frightened. Father laughed. There was terror in my heart at the overpowering force of the waves. So the waves were so powerful that Douglas was overcome by the force of wave. My introduction to YMCA swimming pool revived unpleasant memories and stirred means rekindled, moved childish fears. But in a little while, I gathered confidence. When Douglas went to YMCA swimming pool, he remembered that childhood incident when he was knocked down by the waves. His fear of childhood came back to him, but very soon he became confident. I pedal with my new water wings, watching the other boys and trying to learn by aping them. Pedal means swim, and aping means to imitate or to copy somebody. Douglas used his water wings to swim in the pool. He was watching other boys and trying to learn by imitating them or copying them. He swam with his water wings 2-3 times on different days. He had started gaining confidence. Just at that time, when he was about to become confident, an accident occurred. Here we are going to read about the second incident that made him scared of water. I went to the pool when no one else was there. The place was quiet, that means silent. Water was still, so there was no movement in water, and the tile bottom was as white and clean as bathtub. He could clearly see the white tiles at the bottom of the pool, and it was very clean. I was timid, means scared about going in alone. So he was scared of swimming alone. So he sat on the side of the pool to wait for others. I had not been there long when in came a big bruiser of a boy. Bruiser is strong, probably 18 years old. So he was sitting by the side of the pool and waiting for others. Suddenly a big, strong and aggressive boy came. He was about 18 years with lot of hair on his chest. He was a beautiful physical specimen. So he had a very beautiful physique with legs and arms that showed rippling. Rippling means well-built muscles. And what did he say? Hi skinny, how would you like to be ducked? Ducked means pushed into the water. And as soon as he came, he shouted at Douglas. He said, hey, would you like to be pushed into water? And saying this, he picked me up and tossed me. So he picked up Douglas and pushed him in water into the deep end. I landed in a sitting position and went at once to the bottom. So he reached bottom. I was frightened, but not yet frightened out of my wits. Out of my wits means when you are not able to think or not able to understand what is happening around you. So he immediately went to the bottom of the pool, or he reached the bottom of the pool, and he was frightened, but still he could think. On the way, I planned. So as he was going down in the water, he made a plan for his escape, and I would make a big jump. So what was his plan? That when his feet touched the bottom of the pool, he would jump to come to the surface of water and then lie flat on it. And then after coming to the surface of the water, he would lie flat on the surface of water and swim towards the edge of the pool. In the last slide, we saw what was his plan. His plan was to come to the surface of water, then lie flat and swim to the edge. But it was actually a bit ambitious plan. It seemed a long way down. So Douglas felt that his journey to the bottom of the pool is very long. It is taking a long time. And those 9 feet were like 90 feet. Before he could touch the bottom, his lungs were ready to burst. But when my feet hit bottom means it actually touched the bottom of the pool. I summoned, I collected, I gathered all my strength and made what I thought was a great spring upwards. And he tried to jump up. Spring means jump. And what did he think? He thought it was a powerful jump. And when he jumped, what did he imagine? I would bob to the surface like a cork. Bob to the surface like a cork means float to the surface like a cork. He expected to come quickly to the surface like a cork does. Instead, I came up slowly, but the things did not go as he had planned. He came up slowly, and when he opened his eyes, he saw nothing but water, water, and that had a dirty yellow tinges shade, dirty yellow shade to it. I grew panicky, that is, frightened. I reached up as if to grab a rope. Grab is to hold a rope, and my hands clutched only at water, but wherever he could see, he found only water. He came up slowly, and when he opened his eyes, he could see only water. And what was the color? Light shade of yellow color. And then he got frightened. And he tried to catch something like rope, but his hand could catch only water. I was suffocating. That means not able to breathe properly. He tried to shout, but no sound came out. Then my eyes and nose came out of water, but not my mouth. So his mouth remained in water. I flailed. Flailed means to move hands and legs repeatedly. And he was moving his hands and legs at the surface of water repeatedly. Swallowed. Naturally, when he was in water, he swallowed some water and he was feeling choked. Choked is again suffocated. I tried to bring my legs up and he tried to move his legs up, but they hung as dead weight. Dead weight means not moving or feeling heavy, paralyzed and rigid. So he could not move his legs. He felt his legs had become heavy and rigid, and that was not allowing him to move. A great force was pulling me under. I screamed, but only water heard me. So a big force was pulling Douglas down the water. It seemed somebody is pushing him down, and he was shouting. Scream means shouted. He shouted, but there was no one. Only the water heard me. I had started on a long journey back to the pool. So once again, he started going down the pool. The journey of the pool seemed very long. I struck at water as I went down. Struck at means to hit using your hands. So he tried to hit at the water as he was going down. Expending my strength, he utilized whatever energy was left in him. As one in a nightmare. Nightmare is a bad dream. So it was like a bad dream, and he was trying to fight against that nightmare with an irresistible force. And he knew that he cannot overcome this force, this horror. I had lost all my breath. My lungs ached, that is pained, and my head throbbed. Throbbed is series of beats. I was getting dizzy. Dizzy is giddiness. I remembered the strategy. That is his plan. So when Douglas was not able to breathe, his lungs were paining, heart was spinning, he was getting faint. But still, he remembered his plan. And what was the plan? I think all of you remember. He would jump from the bottom of the pool and come like a cork to the surface. And then he would lie flat on the water. Strike out means to move using his arms, and trash with my legs. So what does it mean? He will move his hands and legs to beat water. Then I would get to the edge of the pool and he will reach the edge of the pool and be safe. I went down, down, endlessly. So it was a long distance. The water was deep. When he opened his eyes, he could see nothing but water with yellow glow. So this word has come once again. There was yellowish tinge in the water. But here the water is called dark. Why? Because now he could not see through the water. So he says it was dark water. Then the sheer, that is complete, stark, very sharp terror seized me. So seized means captured him. Terror that knows no understanding. So he is talking about his horror. He was in the grip of a terror that nobody can understand. And what kind of terror? That knows no control. And nobody can understand this terror that he was facing now, because one who has not experienced this kind of terror cannot understand the terror of Douglas. I was shrieking underwater. I was paralyzed underwater. Shrieking is shouting. So he was shouting under the water, but his voice did not come out of his mouth, and he was not able to make any movement. The body has become stiff, that is tight, rigid with fear. Even the screams, the shout in the throats were frozen. Now he could not shout also. Only his heart and the pounding in the head said he was still alive. So whole body became stiff, and only the beating of his heart and throbbing of his head indicated that he was alive. And then in the midst of terror came a touch of reason. Midst means in the middle of. So when he was in the middle of terror, or he was surrounded by terror, he did not lose his ability to think logically. I must remember to jump when I hit the bottom. So what did he remember? That he had to jump when his feet touched the bottom of the pool. And finally, I felt tiles under me. That means he reached the bottom. My toes reached out as if to grab them. Grab is to hold them. I jumped with everything I had. So as he touched the tiles of the bottom, his toes tried to touch the floor and then jumped with all his strength. But the jump did not make any difference because the water was still around him. And then he started searching for ropes, ladders, water wings, but he could not get anything. He felt only water. A mass of yellow water held me. So mass of yellow water means lots and lots of yellow water was around him, and that was not allowing him to move out. Stark terror took an even deeper hold on me. So the sharp terror became all the more intense, and he was very afraid. It took a hold on him. So that means the terror caught Douglas. And here the terror is compared to an electric current. See this line? Like a great charge of electricity. Why? Because he was shaking and shivering out of fear. My arms wouldn't move, my legs wouldn't move. He couldn't move his arms and legs. And he tried to call for help. He tried to call his mother, but he could not. Nothing happened. And then, strangely, there was light. Then he could see light. And he could see light means he was coming out of that water. And awful means terrible, yellow water. And now he could see, at least my eyes were. So his eyes and nose were almost out of water. Then I started down a third time, and he again started going into the water for the third time. I sucked for air and got water. So when he tried to breathe, The water got into his mouth. The yellowish light was going out. The yellowish light was going out means the light started disappearing, means his eyes were closing. In the last slide, we saw how he was not able to open his eyes. When he tried to breathe, he gulped water instead. Light went out and he drowned again. Then he stopped making all the efforts. See the first line? All efforts ceased. Ceased means stopped. He stopped making efforts. I relaxed. So Douglas relaxed. Even my legs felt limp. Limp is lifeless. And a blackness swept over my brain. So this means that his brain experienced a blackout. And when this happens, it wiped out fear, it wiped out terror. There was no more panic. The fear ended. And he did not panic. He became quiet. And he was now not afraid of drowning anymore. Now he was relaxed. It was quiet and peaceful. Nothing to be afraid of. Now there was no terror left in him. This is nice to be drowsy. Drowsy means sleepy. So he felt sleepy. To go to sleep. No need to jump. Now he was too tired to jump. He doesn't want to jump now. It's nice to be carried gently. And now he stopped making all the efforts and he was floating with the water. Tender arms around me. Tender arms like mother's. And he felt the soft arms of his mother. And he says to himself, now I must go to sleep. I crossed to oblivion. Oblivion means unconscious. And the curtain of life fell. And what did he think? That he is dead. The next thing I remember, I was lying on my stomach beside the pool, vomiting. And the next thing he remembered, when he regained consciousness, he was lying on the stomach beside the pool and was vomiting. The chap, means the person who threw me in, was saying, but I was only fooling. And what did he say? I was only fooling means he did it just for fun. But someone said, the kid nearly died. Be alright now. Be alright now means now behave yourself. Let's carry him to the locker room. Several hours later, I walked home. I was weak and trembling. I shook and cried when I lay on my bed. I couldn't eat that night. For days, a haunting fear was in my heart. Haunting means something that comes to your mind repeatedly. The slightest exertion is stress, upset me, making me wobbly. Wobbly is weak or trembling in the knees and sick to my stomach. Sick to my stomach means feel like vomiting. After many hours, William reached home. He felt weak and he was trembling. He kept on crying as he lay on the bed. He was unable to eat food, so that night he did not eat anything. The fear of water kept on haunting him for many days. This incident made him upset, and even the small work made him feel that his knees were trembling. He would feel like vomiting. He never went back to the pool. Why? Because he feared water. He remained away from water. Now, a few days later, when he came to know of the water of Cascades, Cascade means waterfall, and he wanted to go there. Whenever he went for swimming in different rivers, now you can see the names of the rivers mentioned here: Titan, Bumping River, Warm Lake of the Great Rocks. The fear of water haunted him. It would grab him completely and disable his limbs and grab his heart. So he could not enjoy with his friends. This handicap stayed with me as the years rolled by. So, this fear of water remained with him even when Douglas grew up. In canoes, canoes are the small boats, lakes fishing for landlocked salmon. This is the name of the fish. Bass fishing in New Hampshire, trout fishing. So these are the names of the places where his friends used to go for fishing. The fear of water remained with him, and on the boating trips to different lakes in the main region. So, what are many regions are mentioned here: New Hampshire, Metolius, Columbia, Bumping Lake, where he had fished for different varieties of fish, that is, salmon, bass, and trout. The fear followed him. His fishing trips were destroyed because he could not enjoy. He could not enjoy boating, he could not swim due to this haunting fear. Listen to me very carefully as I explain each line of this slide. We are going to discuss a very important question. How did the instructor make Douglas a swimmer? So, see the first line. Douglas tried to overcome his fear but was unable to get rid of it. Finally, in October, he hired an instructor to teach him swimming. He would practice for an hour each day, 5 days a week. Now, students, let us see how he learns to swim. First of all, the instructor put a belt around Douglas' waist. The belt was attached to a thick rope. The rope went through an overhead pulley and was held by the instructor. And if you see the picture in the background, I think pulley and how he used to hold, how the instructor used to hold it will become very clear to you. This is done to save Douglas from drowning. William swam across the length of the pool for several weeks. Whenever the instructor loosened the rope, he went down into the water and the fear would return as his leg would stop moving. It was after 3 months of practice that Douglas got comfortable. Then the instructor taught him to breathe in the water. He taught him to put his face under the water and exhale his breath. He was taught to raise his nose out of the water and inhale. William practiced several times. Gradually, he got rid of the panic that would grab him. Then he put his head under the water. We'll continue to discuss how Douglas became a good swimmer. Next, he held me at the side of the pool. Here he refers to the instructor and me, Douglas. So the learning process continues. The instructor taught William how to kick water with his legs. For weeks I did just that. So he continued to learn this for many weeks. At first my legs refused to work, but they gradually relaxed and finally I could command. Command means order them. So he did this for many weeks. Initially his legs did not move, but slowly William could order them. Or in simple words, we can say that now he has full control over his legs. Thus, piece by piece, he built a swimmer, and when he had perfected each piece, he put them together into an integrated whole. In April, he said, "Now you can swim. Dive off and swim the length of the pool, crawl, stroke." So, the stroke is a style of swimming, you moving arms and legs. So the instructor finally made a swimmer out of William. When William had perfected in each phase, he compiled them. In the month of April, the instructor told William that now he could swim. He asked him to dive into the pool and swim the length of the pool using crawl, stroke. I did. The instructor was finished. So it means that now I did means this will now Douglas could swim and the classes came to an end. But I was not finished. I was not finished means William still had some traces of fear in his mind. He had not overcome the fear. I still wondered if I could be terror stricken when I was alone in the pool. And he used to think if that fear would grab him when he would be alone in the water. He tried to swim alone in the pool. The terror returned in small traces, and now he knew how to swim. He faced the terror with confidence. He swam another length of the pool, and vestiges means traces. This went on until July. So he kept on doing this practice till July. But still, Douglas was not satisfied because he wasn't sure that his fear had left him. So I went to Lake Wentworth in New Hampshire, dived off a dock at Trix Island, and swam 2 miles across the lake to Stempeck Island. So just to make sure that he's no more afraid, he went to a lake in Hampshire. He dived from the edge at Trix Island. He swam 2 miles across another lake. He reached Stempeck Island. So what is he trying to do? He's trying to test himself to be sure that he is confident and there is no trace of fear left in him. I swam the crawl, breaststroke, side stroke, backstroke. So these are the different styles of swimming that he tried. Only once did the terror return. Now he narrates that only on one occasion he felt the terror. Now what was that occasion? When he was in the middle of the lake, he put his face under the water. He saw water only. So the old feeling of terror came to him in very small amount. But then Douglas had become confident. He laughed and said to himself, now what did he say? Mr. Terror, you cannot do anything to me. What does this show? His confidence. And the fear ran away. He continued to swim. Yet I had residual doubts. Residual means traces remaining left over. At my first opportunity, I hurried west up to the Titan to Conrad Meadows, up to the Conrad Creek, trailed to Meade Glacier and camped in High Meadow by the side of the warm lake. Meadow is grass field. Still, he had some doubts whether the fear has left him totally or has he become confident. So just to check or to test himself, he went to Titan and other places. He stayed in a tent in a grass field on the side of a lake called Warm Lake. Next morning, I stripped. That means he changed the costume next morning and dived, jumped into the lake and swam across to the other shore. And he crossed its breadth and returned to the starting point. And then he was very happy. He shouted with joy, and there was an echo from the mountain called Gilbert Peak. And now Douglas felt that he had overcome his fear. The experience had a deep meaning for me, as only those who have known stark terror and conquered it can appreciate. So, deep meaning is great importance. The experience had a big effect on Douglas. Those who know the terror can only understand the joy of overcoming it. Then he recollects the words of one of the presidents of America, Roosevelt. Roosevelt had said that all we have to fear is fear itself. As William had experienced death and the fear of death, his desire to grow, to live immensely, he felt released from fear and was free to walk up to the trails and climb up the mountains fearlessly. Finally, Douglas was relaxed. He could now fearlessly walk on narrow paths climbed mountain peaks, his fear was gone and he refused to accept fear. The story teaches us that if we are determined enough and have the courage, we can overcome any fear that comes our way without letting the fear overpower us.